think of all the devices that we own that have the ability to pause what we're doing, right? Or stop or turn off. And I think we forget that we can do the same with our feelings and our mind. We really can. And some people are listening like, no, when I feel a certain way, I can't control that. Yes, you can. And there's practice, and you get better at it, actually, the more that you practice. For teachers, sometimes it's hard for them to get away, right? And that is to hit pause. And sometimes it depends on the age of the kids and things like that. Once the kids get older, you can ask them to read something, or if you're working with another teacher. But I think that's something administrators can gift to teachers. Is like, here's my cell phone number. Man, if you're feeling it, I'll come in, I'll hang out with the kids for a little bit, take a walk just down the hallway, and get a drink and come back. And you could literally come back a new person, right? Or stop in the classroom and play a song, just say, hey, you know what? I'm feeling a little stressed out right now. Anybody else? We're going to take a minute. We're going to play a song or something like that. And that sounds very elementary, works for all grades. Everybody loves it. Yeah, well, I'd love to say, hey, I'm an expert because I wrote a book on mindfulness. But the reason I wrote the book on mindfulness is truthfully because I suffer. I suffer from anxiety and stress and things like that. And so if you want to get better at something, you research it, you work on it, you practice it, you share what you learn, you get feedback, and you go from there. I think too often people see being vulnerable and showing our emotions and things like that as a weakness. And I think that's very American to not share that sort of that part of our life. And I think it is okay to do that, but you got to understand what you're doing. It's okay to share your emotions and talk about it. And so tonight, I think a lot of the participants were very vulnerable in sharing. One, that this is something that they need to work on because a lot of people just want to keep it personal. And two, I was really blown away by some of the tweets of practices that schools already had in place. I wish I had a list in front of me, but one school has 3 scheduled mindfulness.
I saw that, yeah.
Yes. I put the little mind-blowing emoji on that one.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fantastic. I saw a teacher who, some of them already had practices in place. And I'm going to go back through the chat and capture some of those, taking walks. Some people shared their playlist. I also love journaling. I think that's a great one. That's how I kind of end my day, with a little reflection on it. And I think we beat ourselves up too much. I think one reason that mindfulness is so important, our mind is always talking. It's the only person we can't escape from. We're the only person we can't get away from. And so we have to learn how to hit pause and get away. And it's not necessarily distraction. It's more necessarily control. Rather than say, I'm going to distract myself, say, no, I'm purposely going to think about something pleasant like gratitude or, a serene image of a location. And in my book on Think Before Bed, and when I talk to people, it's not just a visualization. You try to Olympic athletes do this. You try to include all your senses. And so if you love the beach and you're like, hey, I'm going to think about a great place I love to be, you need to see it. You need to feel the wind on you, the heat. You need to hear it. Try to involve as many, even if you can taste the sand pieces in your mouth or something, or feel it. That's really important. And I think true wisdom in life is simple, right? I really do. Like, we could all write a diet book, right? Drink more water, take a
exercise more.
but do we do these things, right? Do we do the simple things in life that really work? Like take $20 and put it in a can each week, and then in 5 weeks you'll have 100. I mean, these are simple pieces of wisdom. And when it comes to mindfulness, it's not like you have to go to India and study for 5 years, or not speak to another human for 6 months or something like that. There's small practices that we can put in, and we build those habits. And I want to say one other thing, because you mentioned your daughter. I don't want to say that I'm sorry that that's happening, because I've suffered from anxiety my whole life, and it is a condition, and it can be really hard, but sometimes it's also kind of like a superpower. Anxiety is what helps me do all the things that I do, that I podcast, that I write, that I do all those things. It is really a gift. And so I don't really want it to go away. I know this sounds kind of rough, Jeff, because you're a great father, but I want to learn how to cope with it. And I want to learn how to use it. And so that anxiousness, I feel, is awesome if you're an athlete. It's awesome if you're an entrepreneur. But you got to learn these skills. And that's why I wrote the book. You got to learn these skills young so you don't torture yourself. Because when you get to my age, and you're still having those sort of feelings and you're not in control, it
It's
does
tough.
start wearing on your life. I hope that didn't seem insensitive.
No, I love it. I'm 1,000% on board with you. I love that you said it, because we've talked about that with her. Like, she has it, and a lot of it, she has like her feelings, like her feels, her emotion, ways, her empathy is off the charts.
Yes.
She will have a breakdown because she's thinking about, and we'll ask what's on. She'll say, I'm thinking about someone being hurt. And we're like, well, who? And she's like, I don't know, just somebody. And she's literally just thinking about the fact that somewhere someone is hurting and that's bothering her. And I'm like, dear Lord, your heart is huge. Like, and if we can control that, right? If we can harness that, that is a superpower. I love that you said it that way, because it is something that she has that is, I just love so much about her.